The machine comes in a foam lined case which holds 2 lithium-ion batteries that are 2000 milliamp hour. They have a Cheyenne branded charger included in the pack that has a USB Type-C connection and will charge 2 batteries at a time. You have the new power unit that has tactile buttons, a display screen and a separate power button on the top. The batteries slot into the power unit as this slips neatly into the machine body, which is then held in place with a magnet. You also get some O-rings and finally the machine body. There are 3 versions of this available. They have a 2.5mm, a 3.5mm and a 4.5mm stroke options. Now with the new power module, you are able to buy the motor body separately rather than the full machine. So it'll save you a little bit of money there, and it just means you need to have 1 battery connection or 1 battery pack and then 3 machine bodies. So you have that cross compatibility within the Cheyenne ecosystem. According to Cheyenne, you will get over 6 hours battery life. However, this will vary depending on the stroke length and how fast you run the machine. The machine weighs 210 grams and the hertz frequency is 25 to 150 hertz. The motor used is a Faulhaber brushless motor, and you also get 24 months warranty with the machines. Price-wise, directly from Cheyenne, they're €1,000, and if you use the affiliate link I have, that will then give you a discount on your first order with Cheyenne on their website. Now, if you're going to get a 4.5mm stroke, that is going to be way more suited towards people who do solid black work, solid color like trad work. It's a color packer and a liner, let's say. Now granted, you can do black and gray with it, and there are a lot of people out there that do really nice soft black and gray with really long stroke machines. However, from my experience and in my own personal opinion, I feel like you can be a lot more efficient and you get a lot more work done with a shorter stroke machine. So if you wanted it for black and gray, definitely go with a shorter stroke machine. But if you want something for nice thick solid lines, you know, something that really gets it in, you do whip shading, trad work, black work, you know, solid color packing, this is your boy. This is the machine to use out of the ones that the Cheyenne have made. Wrapping this machine, it's fairly easy. You know, you can get a clip cord sleeve that is just about big enough to fit over it. You can wrap it in cling film, that's another way you can do it. You've got disposable grip options, which is fantastic. The idea of having the modular design, which I am all for, is great, because with previous models, if you did have that problem where the power supply section of the machine broke, the machine becomes redundant. Now you take it apart, you take it out, you buy a new one of these or send this off to be repaired. It also means that you can just buy these bodies and have 1 power supply and just kind of like switch and swap between the machines. The power supply unit, it feels fairly well built. It has got a nice bright screen which you can see through the clip cord sleeves. It has tactile buttons, which I am really enjoying, especially compared to the last machine. I did not like the fact that it was a tiny button, you couldn't really find it when you wrapped it. The power button is on the top, and yeah, you know, using it, it's very comfortable for me. I've enjoyed using it. I've not felt awkward with it. Weight wise, you know, it's not the lightest of machines. It has got a little bit of a weight to it, but the weight is negligible. I would say it does feel a little bit heavier than the last machine that they brought out, but you know, it's still an improvement on the actual machine itself. I think the motor in there is a different motor. It definitely feels different when you're using it. So the feel of the machine does feel very different. Even between a 4.5 and a 5mm stroke, it does feel different. You know, the Unlimited and the Unlimited 2. The menu system on this, it's okay. It's not the most intuitive menu system, but the fact that you have a menu system is a bonus. You know, it's just the fact that you have a menu system, which is what I like. So if you're like me, what I tend to do is I set my machines exactly how I want them to run, and that's it. So to be honest with you, menu systems for me aren't that much of a problem. You know, I just read the manual, I set it to how I want it, and then I can just crack on. But the menu system on this, you can have voltage or hertz, which, you know, it depends what you're used to. And you also have the different responsive modes. So you have like kind of steady mode, where it's just providing that constant power to the machine. Then you have the different levels of responsive mode, which is very similar to eGive, if I'm being honest with you. It kind of like slows the motor down to kind of emulate that feeling of give, let's say. And yeah, it does feel a little bit softer, but I I don't know, I think when it comes to rotaries, I like them to be direct drive. That's just me. But some people will find it handy to use. I think all in all, you know, if you put the two machines side by side, this is a massive, massive improvement to the original model. And I will say, well done to Cheyenne. You've really kind of listened to us as an industry, and you've implemented what everybody has suggested, and you've really improved the machine. And I know I applaud you for that. Now, as machines go, this, you know, it's one of those things, right, where you stick with what you like. If you are a massive fan of Cheyenne and you love the way that their machines run, you're really going to get on with this. If you like the SOL Nova Unlimited, you are going to like this machine. I think for me, a 4.5mm stroke is a little bit too long. I would prefer a 3 or a 3.5. 3.5 is my jam. I really like 3.5mm. However, there is a place for this in my arsenal, let's say. So this is one of those machines I would use for black work, trad work, if I want to get that nice stipple shade in, and if I wanted to do nice fat lines. So yeah, like as machines go, it is okay. Battery life on it is not bad at all. Obviously, it's just because it's a longer stroke machine, I'm going to get shorter battery life compared to what I would normally have. And I run my machine at a higher voltage, but using it has been nice. And the healed work that has come back has healed up really good. Like I said, I've tried doing loads of different styles with it. I've tried black and grey. Yes, you can do black and grey. However, you're going to get that really kind of stipply vibe. And that's not what I like. I like to get mine as smooth as I can. And, you know, with the 4.5, you're not going to get it. So this is definitely a more kind of traditional artist's machine. And yeah. Like, if there was anything I could do, say, like, if there's pros and cons with this machine, if I could change anything, the only thing I really would change is, whilst they've got the modular system, I am all about cross-compatibility. I think what I would have preferred and what I would like to see in the future is maybe they go down the same route as the likes of Critical and Muzotoku and go with that magnetic dongle system to then enable you to have different batteries that you can use on it. Because I think I mentioned this to someone before. I think, you know, as a company, if you are more open to cross compatibility, you will, you know, you'll eventually get more clientele as a company, you know, because you might have somebody that, like I said, you know, you might have somebody that, you know, because you might have somebody that likes your machines, doesn't like your power supplies, but then having the ability to use your machines with pre-existing systems, it's going to open the options for artists, and you're going to get more clients. But I think that's really the only difference, the only change I'd make with it, to be fair. You know, I think Cheyenne makes solid machines. They make really good machines. The needles are on point, but like, I've always used Cheyennes. Like, you know, the only one I was really let down on was the last Unlimited, and I feel like as a company they've redeemed themselves with this machine. And yeah, it's I don't know. Let me know what you think of it. I think it's okay. I don't see any problems with it as a user, and yeah, well done. So yeah, let me know what you think. If you think it's shit, let me know. If you think it's good, let me know. But let me know the reasons why you might think it's shit. I hope you have enjoyed this little video that I made, but check it out. It's a good machine. It's all right.